Good morning guys and welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back! So, today I'm going to be doing the reading habits tag. So I'm going to be answering 11/12 questions about my reading habits. It's pretty self-explanatory. So let's just get straight into the video. The first question is, do you have a certain place at home for reading? No, I guess not. I can read in my bed or on the couch or at the kitchen table, or I have this cute little circle chair that you've probably seen in some of my videos. And when I'm at school, which I am right now, I just read in bed or at my desk. I didn't bring my circle chair back because it's just a lot to carry and I didn't really use it very much, so I don't have that to read in, but just in my bed or on my desk, just anywhere really. The second question is a bookmark or a random piece of paper. Both. I have a lot of bookmarks, which I just realized that I left all of them at home. But usually I have some bookmarks. But if I don't have a bookmark on hand or if I can't find them for whatever reason, then I'll just use a random piece of paper, or even, don't hate me, I might dog-ear the pages. Maybe. I don't really mind it. My roommate is giving me the death glare. So it really just depends on what I have on hand. But usually a bookmark. Actually, usually not a bookmark, but I have bookmarks. Number 3. Can you just stop reading, or do you have to stop after a certain chapter or a certain amount of pages? It really depends on the book. Usually I have to stop after at a certain chapter or after a certain amount of pages because that's just who I am. But if I don't really like the book, if I'm not enjoying it, then I can probably just put it down and come back to it whenever. For example, I've been reading this one book on my Kindle for like 3 years that I just haven't finished yet, and I'm only 63% of the way done, and I honestly have no idea what's going on. I should probably just start over and read it from the beginning again. I think I just stopped wherever I wanted and didn't really pay attention to where I was. Number 4. Do you eat or drink while reading? Yes, actually I do. I drink tea and coffee when I'm reading, usually, sometimes lemonade if I'm not feeling tea or coffee, but usually just tea or coffee. And I do read while I'm eating meals like dinner and sometimes breakfast, but I don't really usually read that early in the morning. Yes, I have gotten my books dirty, if that was your next question. Number 5, multitasking. Do you listen to music or watch TV while reading? I try not to because it really distracts me. If you saw my reading vlog last month, you'll know that every time the TV was on, I would end up just watching the show instead of actually reading the book I was supposed to be reading. So I usually don't watch TV, but I do sometimes listen to music, like really soft music, to like drown other people out, if that makes sense. Number 6. One book at a time or several at once? I would have to say several at once, because I like reading one book at a time, but it just isn't possible as an English major, and also sometimes I get tired of one book and have to move to a different book. So I read more than one at a time. Right now I'm in the midst of reading, I think 4 or 5 books. The struggle. Number 7, reading at home or everywhere? I can read anywhere, but I usually end up just reading at home, or on drives I listen to audiobooks, which is a really great way to get your reading done. By the way, if you have a long distance to drive, just pop in an audiobook and you'll get pretty far. Number 8, reading out loud or silently in your head? Kind of a mixture of both. I read silently in my head mostly, but sometimes I'll find myself like whispering what I'm reading just to try to make sense of it. And if the language really doesn't make sense to me, like for my literature classes, if I just don't understand like the language, I'll read out loud and it'll make more sense to me. It just depends on what I'm reading. And number 9, do you read ahead or even skip pages? Y'all are gonna hate me. Yeah. I always tend to find myself skimming or even skipping entirely like the description paragraphs, like the really long ones where it's just describing like the setting. I'm just like, oh, I don't care. I like dialogue a lot better than description. And you can probably, like, if you ever read my writing, you could definitely see it in my writing. I'm much better at writing dialogue than I am description. And actually, as I'm writing my novels, sometimes I find myself putting in parentheses add description and just closing it off and just giving up on that section of description because it'll really hold me back because I just hate writing and reading description. Yeah, so I do find myself skipping, and I also turn pages to see how much I have left, and I end up reading, like skimming over like the last little bit of the chapter. And it always hurts my feelings when I do that, but I find myself doing it all the time. Number 10, breaking the spine or keeping it like new. I would say that I don't really purposefully do either of them. Sometimes I'll break the spine if I'm having trouble like keeping it open. Like for my school books, I'll break the spine so it'll lay flat on the desk while I'm taking notes or something. But usually I don't really care either way, because if it looks damaged, it was a loved book, probably. Or maybe not a loved book, maybe it was just a school book. You get it though. Yeah, so I don't really intentionally do either of those things. Number 11, do you write in your books? School books, definitely yes. I do regular reading books, like for pleasure reading on the side or during breaks or whatever. I don't really write in them all that much, usually because I just don't have a reason to write in them, but sometimes I do highlight or underline. Yeah, sometimes, but not all the time. The last question is, who do you tag? I definitely tag every one of you readers out there to do this tag. This video is actually a collab with my roommate Rachel. She has a booktube channel which is called Stories in May, and it's always linked in my description if you haven't noticed, but you should totally check out her video. She did the reading habits tag also, and it'll be going up around the time of this video. I'm not sure about before or after or what, but around the same time, who knows. But keep an eye out for that and make sure you watch her video and give her all the love that you give me. I think that is all that I have for you today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe so you can join my channel. Hit the little bell to get notified whenever I post a video so you won't miss it. And that's it. So have a great morning, and if I don't see you later, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.